Welcome to the Beautiful Heart Show. My name is Dr. Anacleto Millendez, the founder of the Beautiful Heart Foundation. Tonight I am very pleased to be meeting a beautiful woman. She is involved in charity work, and before we go into the details, let us ask her to introduce herself first. Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, Doc. I'm Joy Gomez from Dasmariñas, Cavite. I am 48 years old and a single mom.
And I know you've been doing a lot of work for the Lord.
Yes.
Can you just share with us?
Well, before I went to a camp, this is a youth camp. We volunteer for around 3 years with my kid. We have this for the youth camp for the gospel. They are invited all over the Metro Manila and nearest provinces. So after that volunteerism, after 3 years, I went to feeding ministry. We go to poorest of the poor places all over Cavite, Nueva Ecija, and Manila. So we do this feeding ministry through giving gifts and through feeding the people, especially the kids. And we also have the gift giving during this season.
Why do you find it important to really feed the kids?
All right. Because I believe in my heart that the Lord loves the little children, and I have a very nice life in when I was young. It's a very simple life, but I enjoy the life that I have before, because the Lord has blessed me with this poster poster parents that having this in the Philippines. So I am a recipient of showers of blessing in our church. I am doing this in return.
And do you look for special places, or is it in Metro Manila or outside of Metro Manila?
Actually, Doc, it is when I pray to one place, example, the church are inviting me as a minister or as a volunteer. I always told to myself that, okay, Pastor, I will pray for it. And if I am convinced and the Lord talk to me, I will go to this place, and then we start moving, and we start making these plans to be fulfilled, the
So
feeding ministry.
prayer is very important
Exactly,
for the
Pastor.
decision making.
Exactly that.
And what about the kind of food that you use to feed them?
Well, actually, personally, I cook the food.
Wow, so it's a
Yeah.
labor of love then.
Exactly, because I love to cook, so we feed them this rice, hot dogs, and vegetable. We usually feed them chow pan. We call it chow pan because it has egg, it has hot dog, it has mixed vegetable, and rice.
Well, the other day, we've been to Mindanao, in the city of Iligan, where we conducted our own medical outreach program. But part of that was also a feeding program. But we use the traditional arroz caldo. What do you think about arroz caldo?
I think arroz caldo, it should have chicken, right?
Of course, yes.
That's good enough with chicken.
Yes.
But some people are feed the people, especially the kids. They just use plain rice,
So
lugaw.
no source of protein without
Exactly.
chicken. Yeah.
So I don't believe that feeding them without any meat or
Yeah.
uh,
It's not a complete meal.
yeah. It should be a
Yeah.
complete meal.
What about those who've been doing feeding program, but they purchase it from fast foods? The common fast foods that they thought, well, kids would love this because this is very popular fast food.
Actually, we still prefer to have this home, simply like pancit,
Yeah.
our pancit adobo, our adobo, and
So
also
like Filipino recipes.
yes, we really love to feed them with Filipino recipes.
Does it come with, say, juice and some fruits, or just plain?
We come up with this gulaman,
Okay.
the black gulaman, the different colors of gulaman. So one of my ministry in the Bacoor area in Cavite, my son volunteered to have this gulaman for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after feeding the body,
Mm-hmm.
do you go into feeding the soul as well?
Actually, we first feed the soul.
Okay.
After the Bible study, or the children learn about this gospel, and also some subjects in the school, we also teach them numbers and reading and memorization of the verses from the Bible. So after the Bible study or the teaching, we feed them. We feed them the soul first, then the
The
body.
body. Yeah. And some of the problems in feeding programs I heard would be cases of food poisoning, and have you encountered such experience?
By the grace of God, I never experienced that thing, because first we pray for this ministry, for the feeding ministry, and then we are the one who cook for
Yeah,
them.
that's a good practice. You
Yes.
make sure that, other than if you purchase it in a fast food, you never know. So most probably those cases of food poisoning is common among those purchased from the fast foods.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, but so you prepare it yourselves. I've tried doing feeding program where I would even involve even the parents themselves to help at least in the preparation of the food. Do you think that's a good idea also?
With the parents, exactly.
Okay.
With the parents. So at least you have some volunteers from the.
Yeah. In fact, there are even cases when I was doing feeding in the vow through the Ang Batang Musmus movement, or the movement for the innocent child, that older kids, I would tap them to at least help get the woods, let them. For me, it's a good idea to also teach them the basics of cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah, and although this might not take place in a big setting, but in my experience, it's fun for them to be preparing the food themselves, and it's also fun for me. But it's like going on a camp, as you said.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you would say, "Oh, it's everybody's work," and you eat together. Yeah.
That's what we call. We should delegate some.
Yeah, because
works.
if you just go there and then they just line up and with their cups or their balls, it may look like dole out. But if you let the parents and the children themselves do the preparation, I think it's more productive, and maybe you are leaving some kind of a legacy or an advocacy that as they do the helping, they learn how to cook.
Exactly, Doc.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And where do you get your support?
Actually, if my friend are celebrating their birthday, so I ask them, what are you going to do with your birthday?
Yeah.
And then, oh, you have a feeding ministry. Okay, I will celebrate my birthday through this feeding ministry. And also, I have some friends during my college that pastors also, if they are available, they go to our feeding session, and then they also help us. That's it.
That's teamwork there, huh?
Yes, right.
Including the pastors would help.
Pastors.
Yeah. And for me, in my experience,
Mhm.
medical mission first, and say by 10 o'clock or
Mhm.
towards noontime,
Mhm.
feeding would start.
Mhm.
And if the medical mission will end in the afternoon, there's another feeding program again,
Mhm.
like in the middle of the afternoon.
Mhm.
But it's really good really to incorporate feeding with medical mission. You address the malnutrition problem,
Mhm.
and nutrition is important also
Mhm.
for health and wellness. Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that most of these common childhood diseases
Mhm.
um, are caused by malnutrition.
Mhm.
And the other day, last Friday, I was part of a forum
Mhm.
where I was asked about how I look at the issue of the Dingvaxia, the Dingvaxia, where people are panicking,
Mhm.
and I told them I think one key to
Mhm.
prevent being infected by the dengue virus
Mhm.
is really to get good nutrition. If you're
Mhm.
well nourished,
Mhm.
chances are you will not get infected.
Mhm.
And that, if you look at cases of dengue, most of them are
Mhm.
malnourished children.
Mhm.
What do you think about that, ma'am?
The malnourished problem in the Philippines is about not teaching them to eat the food that like the vegetable,
Mhm.
like the soup that we
Yeah.
are. The soup is good enough because just like the chicken soup,
Mhm.
you can be healthy with the chicken soup
Mhm.
and also the vegetable soup. So the malnutrition came because of these parents, all
Mhm.
right?
Especially now that you have so much influence in media, advertising,
Yes. Mm.
fast foods.
Exactly. No. The people, especially the kids, are watching uh, these ads
Mhm.
that they just thought it
That's
is good,
mhm.
but actually, these are all junk food,
Right,
like
right.
the fast food restaurant.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I in Facebook in my Facebook pages I have such advocacy promoting lutong bahay or
Uh-huh.
Filipino food for health.
Mhm.
Uh, Usually I demonstrate how to cook tinolang manok,
Mhm.
um, nilagang baka,
Uh-huh.
yeah, or adobo, because our own Filipino food is very healthy.
Mhm.
Of course, you have to be careful about the amount of salt that you add,
Mhm.
and of course, the amount of fatty parts of the pork or um, but overall, I think the Filipino recipe is healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we are able to combine lots of vegetables,
Mhm.
uh, and the use of malunggay in our
Mhm.
tinola is very healthy.
Mhm.
And when I make tinola, it's either I choose uh, sayote
Mhm.
or
Papaya.
papaya.
Mhm.
But there are studies. In fact, I have a friend who passed away, a
Mhm.
food scientist from the University of the Philippines in Mindanao,
Mhm.
that sayote has um, anti-hypertensive.
Yes.
It's an anti-hypertensive.
Yes.
So if you think that your blood pressure is shooting up, you might as well use sayote instead of papaya for
Mhm.
your tinola.
Mhm.
Now, of course, malunggay and our bitter melon,
Mhm.
our ampalaya.
Mhm.
See, so this is really a way of telling the public that we still have the best recipes. The Filipino food can be considered one of the healthiest recipes in the world. What do you think
Yes.
about that, man?
Yes, we are born to have this food to eat, which is very balanced.
Again, I would like to really congratulate you, ma'am, for what you have been doing, for understanding that malnutrition is still a big problem in this country. And as a medical doctor, I also support the idea that food is medicine. Food is medicine. So we should not just depend on the pharmaceuticals. We should start with well-balanced diet and making sure that these recipes are rich in antioxidants. You add, of course, the fruits and lots of water.
Yes.
Yeah, and be careful. If you're diabetic, you know, observe that the drinks that, like say, soda, very rich in sugar. Yeah. In your feeding program, before I close, ma'am, do you push for something like juice or soda as part of the...
No, actually, we make the gulaman.
Also, the
But
gulaman.
The gulaman is just, the sugar is just enough.
Just enough. Okay. So I'm hoping that one day we can really join forces. I am into medical mission, but when I say medical outreach, it's more than just medical mission. It's reaching out, really reaching out, and you're not just targeting the medical conditions, but you know, the nutrition as well.
Yes.
And now I found a partner in you.
Yes, Doc.
And one of these days, our people will see us doing this work of God together.
Amen.
Thank you, and may God bless all of us.
Yes.
Thank you.